Okay, without further ado, I guess we'll get started. So, as I mentioned a couple times just in the last few moments, thank you everyone for making time. We're so thrilled to be working alongside Healthquest to host today's demo and show you a little bit more about Tali AI and our solution and how it works with Healthquest, taking a focus on today's session to teach you more about our integrated AI Scribe and our three-in-one solution that offers an AI Scribe, a medical search, and dictation solution, joined by our CEO, Mahshid, as well, to be going through our demo and discussion today. And before we dive in, I just want to say thank you to our Healthquest partners again for being, so fantastic and helping set this up and bring everyone together. So we're super appreciative for that partnership. But just before we dive into today's demo and discussion, a few notes to mention again. If you have any questions, please use our Q&A inbox to ask anything that you would like to regarding what you see in the demo, and we'll certainly make sure that we have some time for it at the end to go through them. And then before we begin, I'll just pass it off to Mahshid to say a few opening remarks to give a little bit of background about Tali and our partnership with Healthquest. And then from there, we'll kick off the demo.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Harrison. My name is Mahshid Yassaei, co-founder and CEO of Tali. I know it's the first time a lot of us are meeting, so I would like to quickly just take 2 minutes and tell you a little bit about myself and how the founding story of Tali before jumping into the product, because it has an impact. It has the founding story has had an impact on how the product is shaped and where we're going from here. So I'm a computer scientist by training. I studied at McGill and worked at BlackBerry as my first job. Hopefully, some of us still remember what was BlackBerry. And this is the second company that I'm starting at the intersection of healthcare and software. As part of the first one, we work with large hospitals, government agencies, to smaller startups, all in the healthcare and medical space, build more than 40 products. Before starting Tali in 2019, with the initial funding actually coming from Public Health Agency of Canada. They gave us funding to do research on a state-of-the-art NLP algorithms to see if the accuracies were high enough for a natural language interface on top of EMRs, for everything a clinician needs to do in their EMR. So we did 6 months of research. We built a prototype. Then I started talking to physicians, nurses, even pharmacists, asking them, like, does this resonate with you? Would you be interested? Actually, during that process, we found 2 of our co-founding physicians that are both from Edmonton, Alberta as well. They teach at University of Alberta, so they joined us as the co-founding team, help us shape the early days of the product. And then WellHealth got interested. They over 1.5 years, they partnered with us to co-design and co-build the product with their clinicians and in close relationship with their clinics before we went generally available in 2023. Partnership with the team at Healthquest was signed toward end of 2023 as well. And over the past few months, we have worked very closely together to identify how can we deliver Tali as an integrated solution to the newest version of the EMR to save more time and make the experience more seamless. We realized that this is day 0 of the solution category and also the integration between the 2 companies. But this is a celebration of like a very exciting path forward for everything really clinicians need to do, a majority of it happening through natural language and voice interface to save more and more time. I'm going to pause here so we jump into the demo and show you what the fuss is about, I guess.
That sounds fantastic. And then before we dive in as well, I thought I'd introduce myself too, but I'm a customer success representative of Tali. So in addition to showing you our demo today, we'll be available to address any of your questions after the fact, everything from getting started, using Tali, and finding as much success with our solution as possible. So great to be speaking with you all today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And everyone now should be able to see Healthquest in the background. So what I'll just quickly call out as we get started is with the latest version of Healthquest, very excited to show that this is where you'll be able to see and one of the ways that you can access Tali AI. So you'll see here on the right-hand taskbar, you'll see the Tali indicator, which you can use to essentially launch and sign into your Tali account. But of course, in addition to finding Tali within Healthquest, there are a number of ways that you can access Tali and get started today. So in addition to launching from Healthquest, we also offer you the ability to launch Tali via Chrome extension, desktop app, and mobile app, making it extremely easy to document notes and know that no matter which platform you'll be using Tali on, all of your notes will sync across your devices. So for the purposes of for today's demo, I'll be using our Chrome extension to be walking you through this. The Chrome extension, again, is a great way to access Tali from Google Chrome and being able to easily document your notes. And it gives off a very similar experience to what you'll see in Healthquest as well. And so as I mentioned at the top of the call, Tali is one of Canada's most integrated and secure AI Scribe solutions, and we offer you 3 really exciting solutions in one platform. And so we have the ability for you to use our AI Scribe solution, which allows you to document notes with patients and turn those transcripts into a medically relevant note. We have our Dictation solution, which is your standard voice-to-text solution, making it really easy to document unstructured notes. And then we also have our medical search functionality, which is in our More Features button within Tali, which allows you to ask for drug dosage or medication questions, and I'll make sure that all 3 of those are covered off in today's session. So really excited that Mahshid will be our test patient, if you will, as we go through a demo. So we'll start off with our AI Scribe, and I'll show you, within as little as 1 click, you can easily get started with documenting a session between yourself as a clinician and a patient. And so we'll be going through a demo session so you can really see the power of how easy it is to use Tali without really changing much at all in your workflow. So Mahshid, are you ready to go?
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready.
Amazing. So all you have to do is just click the new encounter button within the AI Scribe, and then you're ready to start your session. And I'll highlight a few key things as we go. All right, let's jump into it. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, doctor. I feel all right. Just here from my routine checkup.
Awesome. To get started, let's go over your current medications. I see there you're on Actonal, 35 milligrams once a week, Crestor, 10 milligrams daily, and Losec, 20 milligrams daily.
Yep, that's right.
And when it comes to allergies, you have allergies to penicillin and aspirin. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, great. Can you tell me when your last meal was?
Well, I had breakfast this morning, oat milk and oatmeal, sorry, just just a cup of coffee.
Okay, excellent. All right, I see that your blood pressure today is 108/67, pulse is 68, weight is 63 kilograms. Everything looks stable. And how are you feeling overall?
I'm feeling pretty good. No major issues, just the usual knee and elbow pain from work that I think, if you remember, we talked about in the previous sessions.
I see. Okay, understood. When it comes to physical exam, normal. Head exam, clear. There's no signs of adenopathy. Lungs are clear. Heart sounds normal. Abdomen is normal. We did a pelvic exam and took a pap smear as well. Your bone density test from November 2023, it shows moderate fracture risk. So we'll continue with Actonal 35 milligrams once a week. How's your physiotherapy going, by the way, for your knee and elbow that we've previously talked about?
It's helping a bit. The compression stockings and braces are helpful. I will continue to use them, obviously, but yeah, no, it is getting better.
Okay, good to hear. So we'll continue with those, but now also regarding your thyroid, the sonography showed a tumor near your thyroid, so we'll need to stop the synthroid and schedule some surgery.
Oh, I see. So is there anything I need to know or do before the surgery?
So before the surgery, we'll prescribe some medications and educate you as well about your pre-surgery routine. I'll send you the prescription refills for your cholesterol and osteoporosis medications to your pharmacy. So I'll do that for you. And you'll also undergo some blood work for continuous monitoring. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. And we'll also continue with your physical therapy sessions and follow along with our pre-surgery instructions carefully. So I'll make sure to send this your way and we'll go through it together.
Amazing. Thank you so much, doctor. I appreciate it.
No problem. We'll be in touch soon for your surgery schedule, and thank you so much.
Amazing.
That's great. So I'll just pause this here really quick. But one thing I wanted to highlight as well, as you can see with this initial demo of the AI Scribe solution, within 1 click, you were able to get started with a session super easily. And at the top of our screen, you'll see that I, for my personal preference, have my templates for the AI Scribe set to SOAP multiple issues. So we went through a sample SOAP multiple issue session today. But of course, either at the start of your session or throughout, you can switch to a variety of Tali's templates, and I'll go through those in a bit. But really adding to the flexibility of being able to turn your conversations into a medically relevant note that works best for your use case. And so just wanted to make sure that was highlighted as well, that you can both change it up front or throughout the session as well. So now that the session is completed, I'll go ahead and select done. And now the note will generate. And so you can see here that when a note is generating, you have the option within Tali to either jump into another session. So you can click the get started session while it's processing, or if it's ready to go, you'll be able to have access to the rich details that came from the conversation. So within Tali's notes, you'll be able to see the date and timestamp for the session, an editable title, so you can organize your notes by making edits to the title to meet your needs as you're organizing your notes throughout the day, the week, etc. You'll also have access to the note that was generated. In our case, it was a SOAP multiple issues, and we'll get into the format momentarily, as well as the transcript, so you can see the full verbatim of the text and information that was added to the note, and as well a generate button. So in addition to selecting a template to get started with, you can also go through a whole host of different templates. So you could generate everything from a patient summary, a referral letter, many different ways to get multiple notes out of one conversation to be able to easily speed up and improve the administrative burdens that come in with having to generate multiple notes from a conversation as well. Before I dive into showing you some examples of generating additional notes, one thing that I'll mention too is you can see here that we covered quite a lot of ground between Mahshid and I in our demo. And you can see that all of these issues now are neatly organized within this multi-issue SOAP note. Everything from the subjective, the physical examinations, the results that we potentially talked about, all of the assessment and key critical items organized by issue, and then the plan as well, organized by issue, discussed as well. So being able to take a very complex conversation and turn it into something that really works for you. And there's lots of ways to customize this as well, which I'll get into as well. So I'll go ahead as well, and I'll generate a couple other great examples of our other templated notes that can come from this. So for example, I'll generate a patient summary. And while this generates in the background, what I'll do is I'll quickly hop over to our settings. So while that note is generating, one thing I wanted to highlight is, and I briefly had mentioned this as well, that there's a lot of ways that you can customize your notes with Tali. So the first would be our SOAP notes. So within all of our SOAP notes, you can edit them to have the look and feel better aligned to your preferences for note taking. So you can see that my note was in bullet form, but you can switch it to paragraph form. I had mine in shorter phrases, but you can extend that to full sentences or extended detail to get more from the conversation. So this is one of the ways we're making it super easy for you to be able to customize your notes. In addition to this, really excited to share a new feature when it comes to customizing your notes is our template customization. So within templates, within your settings, you'll have the ability to set a default template. In addition to a standard SOAP note, you'll be able to, if you find that you're using a particular visit type over and over again, I should say, you can switch to a SOAP multi-issue. You can switch to a variety of our custom SOAP options, consult notes and letters, patient summaries, and some of our specialty notes as well. So there's a number of ways that you can test out our variety of templates. And then in addition to this, we also have the ability for you to customize your templates. So what I'll do here is I'll actually go ahead and show you our SOAP multi-issue and how you can customize this as well. So I'll quickly just go into my history, and I'm going to grab a custom instruction that I've already created for myself here just to showcase the power of our SOAP and template customizations. So when I go into my settings, I go into my templates, and I go into that SOAP multi-issue, you can see here this custom instruction. So for my personal preferences, I have a number of ways that I want my SOAP multi-issues to look when reviewing notes from a particular visit. So I've now added in my own custom instruction to teach Tali every time I do a SOAP multiple issue, what I would like that note to look like and how it want it to be structured. So here you can see, for example, I have the ability to do a number of different customizations, but this one example showcases the fact that you can change the headings for sections. So it's changing it from S and O to full word, subjective, objective. You can also recategorize the findings. For example, I can add a section for patient education and separate headings for allergies or current medications, and I can add that in there as well. And I can also format different types of medications too. So here you can see that I've asked Tali in future to write medications, drug name, dosage, and frequency, and also include the visit and dates at the top of the session, and then recategorize some of the sections as well, such as calling lab results the labs. All you have to do is
just a pause here for clinicians that are watching. We spent a lot of time designing this customization tool in Tali, and we realized that the requirements from clinicians were so diverse that we wanted to give them the most strong or impactful way of customization. So basically, anytime you see a note from Tali and you would think, well, I wish there was something, or I wish, just write that wish into this box, save it, and your notes are going to look like that from moving on. So this is like Harrison is showing a lot of different examples, but your wish list does not need to be limited to these use cases that we're demoing.
Absolutely. The ability for you to get creative with this is quite limitless, and really excited to support anyone with questions. We also have linked to some great resources to show you future examples as well, linked within the feature. So I'll go ahead and save this instruction. And what I'll do is I'll go back into my notes, and I'll go in here and I'll show you as well that that patient summary that I had generated previously is now ready. And you can see here that it's nicely presented and ready to go. And then one of the beautiful things about Tali is, in addition to being able to generate multiple notes and do things like customize the template itself, you can also make edits directly to a particular note. And you can do that in a couple ways. The first is the ability to manually edit. So we have a manual edit button that you can go in and you can change text, add and remove detail as you need to on your own. Or you can use our really exciting new feature, our Smart Edit feature. And the Smart Edit feature allows you to present an instruction that will change this particular note. So I have a patient summary here written in English, but let's say I want to change it to another language. You can add a note here to regenerate this note in French.
This is basically to address where like your patient is more comfortable in another language than English, and you're really sending this patient summary to them, so it's best written in the language that they're, or it might be that for the circle of care in a case of a geriatric patient, the other language is going to be more comfortable. So this is going to give you extreme power in translating that to any language that your patient is more comfortable in.
Absolutely. And while that takes a moment to regenerate in another language, what I can also do is we can go in and I can show you how to regenerate the note that we had previously done. Oh, actually, it looks like it's all good to go. Perfect. So before we dive into showing you the custom instruction we did, you can see here now that we have changed the patient summary to another language. So again, as Mahshid had mentioned, in this use case, if your patients would prefer to receive that patient summary in another language, we can offer that as well. This is a great way on how to make customizations just to a particular note, whereas that custom instruction I showed you before was a great way to make changes to the template as a whole. So, and then of course, if you need to, you can always revert it back to the original as I've done. And then when I go back into that SOAP multi-issue, you can see here that this was the initial note organized. And so what I'll do now is I'll regenerate it with the all the key changes in that template instruction that I had set forth. So I'll go ahead and do that. And while that loads, so now you can see here that the note has been regenerated and has taken into account a lot of those key details that I had mentioned before. So I'll just go ahead and show you what that looks like as well. Perfect. And you can see here at the bottom, the follow-up is included and the details of it have changed as well. And then from there, and of course, we happily to go back. I know we've only got 10 minutes left, so I'll quickly go through a few other key items for you. We have our dictation solution as well. So in addition to being able to make medically relevant templated notes, you'll also have access to our dictation solution, where you can just do simple voice to text, whether it's just extra notes that you want to add to a patient chart before or after a visit. There's information that you want to add into a patient chart once the patient has left the room. You can certainly go ahead and add those here as well. And then as well, we also have our last feature, which I'll touch on too, which is our Ask a Medical Question. And so this is a great feature if you want to pull up drug dosage and also medication questions as well. So to ask a medical question, I'll go ahead and click here. And I'll say, recommend, what's the recommended dosage of amoxicillin for a 3-year-old? And you'll see here that it's now pulled up that information right here for you. And the beauty of this is that we're pulling from already widely used medically relevant resources. So that would be from OpenFDA, CEP, Choosing Wisely, Merck manuals. All that information is available for you within the medical search. And so I know we only have about 9 minutes left, so I'll pause there. But before we kick off questions, I know a common top of mind item for everyone is usually privacy and security items, particularly when it comes to consent, how to use Tali in a consent-based workflow. And so within our settings, one thing I want to highlight is that we offer a number of great resources to get started, everything from downloadable consent forms that you can use for patients, and as well patient infographics that you can add to your clinic or office if any of your patients have questions about Tali and how it's used. And as well, we're really proud of all the amazing work that we do in security and privacy to keep Tali and keep all of your data secure, including the fact that we're the only Canadian AI scribe to be SOC 2 Type 2 secured. And so we were awarded that designation in addition to being HIPAA, HIPAA, and HIPAA compliant as well. But I want to make sure that we make sure that all that is addressed and are happy to go into any of those questions in more detail as well. So now we'll take some questions. All right.
So Steve is asking, what does the integration in Healthquest mean today? So the first thing is that the authentication is synced. So if you log into your Healthquest, the first time you log into Tali, after that, when you log out from your EMR, Tali is logged out. And when you log in, Tali is logged in as well. We know in a lot of clinics, especially when you're moving your room multiple times during the day, just logging out of a multiple solution is going to be extra burden, and this is going to save you that. The other thing is that you don't need to install the latest version of Tali or the updates to the product. So right now you would install Tali's desktop app, and if a clinician doesn't have admin access to their machine, every time there is an update into the product, and it happens actually very often, almost every 10 days, there is going to be an improvement into the product. Your admin needs to go room to room and install all the updates. Right now, with that click of a button, you will get the most up-to-date version of the product launched. Immediately after that is obviously coming what I think the second question is asking, which is copying the information back to Healthquest. The conversation we have had with the team at Healthquest is that this is happening in Q4. Hopefully, as soon as it's QA, then good to go live. But this is certainly, we are very, very aware of that, the extra value it brings, that after the note is generated, you just approve it in Tali, and Healthquest is going to be auto-populated.
And then I see we have another question about patient consent infographic, Canada. Yes.
So there are multiple ways that you can manage the consent gathering process. Some of our clinics are actually putting a signage at the admin desk before the patient walks into the room. They'll see that. You can have the infographic, which I don't know if Harrison, you can quickly show you how the file looks like. It's just a 2-page document written in a very simple language that shows this is the pieces of information we gather. This is how we manage them. There's a barcode for the patient to scan and reach out to Tali directly and ask questions about their data. And there is an FAQ piece, like the most frequently used questions. This is a document that answers their question. So you can have copies of this FAQ and this infographic available at your admin desk to facilitate that consent gathering. When you have these resources available, when the patient walks into the room with their doctor, they won't have as much conversation. The doctor will say, have you seen all the resources about my AI scribe? And they, more than 99% of time, patients are okay with that. And then they can continue with the session.
Awesome. Any other questions? Let's see, we got a couple more.
There was a question about bugs and drugs. We know the content is available freely, but as I answered, for us to use that content in Tali, we need to have content partnership with our with these organizations. So we have a content partnership with Merck Manual, with FDA, etc. So if you guys are connected with the team at Bugs and Drugs, please make an intro. We'd love to have their content. We realize it's a very commonly used resource in Alberta specifically.
Awesome. I see we have one individual who raised their hand. Are you open if I just go ahead and let you ask your question directly? I'll go ahead and let you talk. There you
go. Thank you for the presentation. Just a quick question. Where can I find, because I used a Tali AI and my plan is to get the Pro possibly tomorrow.
Amazing.
Where can I find like that? Because it's quite tiring taking consent at the beginning of each consultation. So is there a place where I can find like the banner you mentioned to put just for patient to know that I use the Tali AI for consultation? Because what I do now is at the beginning of each consultation, I have to take consent, and it takes some time off you, having to take consent, having to explain. Some patients struggle to understand the whole concept. So I don't know, where can I find the banner? And then the second one, is there like a time frame? Because discussing with some of my colleagues, I think it will be very good if we don't have to be copying. If there's a way that it just goes to the patient note and you just approve, or you feel like, oh, I need to edit some of because at times the patient derail from the consultation. They start, especially if they know you, they talk about something else that is not part of the consultation.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
in terms of the signage, our customer, I think we wrote down your name. We're gonna send you a copy of the signage you can print and have in the room available. The second question was around the Harrison.
The auto copy. Sorry, the
Auto
timeline.
copy, yeah, certainly. We're very clear about that. I think we were very excited to announce the partnership, and with the minimum usage, we are very clear that the real value comes when the auto population in the MR happens, and we are very lucky that the team at Healthquest has been very collaborative as well. We're really hopeful that it's going to come very soon. And the third one was
I'll pull up here to see if there was an additional question. One was a comment about another resource bank, how physicians use UpToDate is another one. So we can certainly look in that as well.
No, sorry, I have to.
Oh, sorry.
But the first content organization we reached out to, obviously, we know all physicians love their UpToDate. Because of the monopoly they have on the content, they were very close to the partnership. We even had multiple conversations with them back in 2022. And we couldn't just convince them, because they need to, as I mentioned to this other clinician, is that they need to give us their content. So we train our AI on top of their content to be able to answer the questions. And they just were close to the partnership, unfortunately. Congrats for your partnership. I just need to know, to access Tali, if you need to sign an agreement with Healthquest, or is it just update service with EMR? You need to update your EMR. So Tali will be available. You get two weeks of free trial on Tali. You can try it, unlimited number of usages. And after that, if you're happy, your contract is going to be with Tali. So you will go to our pro plan to get unlimited access to the product. After that, it's going to be between Tali and yourself. Was Tali's engine built in-house, or does it utilize another AI engine? We have a stack of commercial AI partners. So we are partners with both Microsoft and Google, and we get early access to their latest models. But what we do is that we do a little bit of pre-processing on the conversation, a little bit of post-processing. And in the middle, we have a stack of different models that, based on the context of the conversation, etc., we might use different models. But aside from the initial pre-processing, post-processing, and a little bit of fine-tuning, the core of the large language model is a commercial model we're using. Please let customers know they must be in Healthquest version 4.50 or higher. Yep. So a note from Nicole, I guess from the Healthquest team, is that they are reminding us that you need to be on Healthquest version 4.4.50 or higher to see Tali's button inside Healthquest. What is the cost? If you want to do a month-to-month agreement, it will be $150 per clinician per month. If you do an annual contract, it's going to be $135 per clinician per month. If you do group purchasing, if you're practicing from a clinic where like 5 of you or 10 of you are interested, there are further discounts that are going to be available. For those like group discounts or enterprise contracts for the whole clinic, reach out to us and we're happy to give you our best pricing. But as an individual clinician, our annual contract is $135 per clinician per month. But it is the ROI is, hopefully after you try the free trial for the 2 weeks, the ROI is going to be very clear. Most of our clinicians are saying that they save close to 2 hours per day. Just imagine what you can do with that 2 hours per day in terms of if you want, visiting more patients. If not, just resting, I guess.
I know we're at time, so if there are any other questions, we'll make sure to send a note after this to everyone who joined today with resources on how to get in touch with us. But you can always message us at help@Tali.ai with any further questions as well. We thank you so much for your time. Mahshid, thanks so much for making time for this too.
Absolutely. Just a quick note that people can just going upgrade your Healthquest. You see the Tali button. If you want to try Tali separately, you can go on our website, download Tali and try it as well. That 2-week free trial is the best way to see the potential of the product for your own practice before making a commitment. Sorry to interrupt you, Harrison. I'll let you finish.
Hey, no, that's that's why we're here, is giving everyone an opportunity to really try and see the power of Tali. But we will leave it there for now, and we look forward to connecting with everyone over email and to answering any further questions that you have. But thank you so much. All right, take care.
Thank you so much. Take care.